thing, I want you to write down ILE. ILE is I love everything. I want you to write down 3 things that bother you in the infield. And I'm going to tell you what Jabin's are. And it's powerful because things that concern you, well, I'll just tell you one thing that concerned me. When I played third base, it was lips. It was the lip of the grass, right? And you're like, man, dude, if it hits that lip, it's not going to bounce up. It's going to skip low, right? And the shortstops and middle guys don't play in that much. So the lip, the back lip, right? Going back for backhands, but like the lip really would get into my head a little bit, like, man, So it would create a little bit of hesitation. My light would be a little yellow, and especially if I go in to get a ball, you're wondering, right? So you lose, right, your green light, you lose your attack, you lose your confidence, right? So I want you to identify 3 things, and I'll give you 3 that are Jabin's. And Jabin's were bad dirt, bad tempo, long innings. That's what he doesn't like. He doesn't like long innings. I'm not saying he's not good within them, but they bother him. They challenge him. They challenge his focus. And if he's going to make an error, he's going to make it in a long inning, poor tempo, right, and maybe bad dirt. And when he sees the bad dirt, because I remember, when the dirt starts getting chewed up, confidence has a tendency to start to go. If you're on a 10 at the start of the game, nice field, watered down, right, had a good pregame, you're at a 10, right, you roll out in the 5th inning, and they had a bunch of guys at second base, right, Trent, and they're chewing it all up, and they're going back and forth, you got base stealers, and it's all hacked up, and your confidence can drop from a 10 to a 7, and that creates tension, that creates hesitation, and that creates mistake making, right? So his was bad dirt, and we talked about it. So what I do is, I still do it today, I text him his 3, I call them thorns. So I'll text him, like, let's just say tomorrow, I'll say bad dirt, long innings, poor tempo, you love it. And I put ILE, I love everything. So he trains his mind when the dirt gets bad to what? Not to complain, because his first, right, his natural pattern of thinking is what? Oh man, dirt's messed up, right? 7, confidence drops to a 7, a little bit of tension, you're going for that slow roller, a little bit of tension, boom, boots off. You see it in the College World Series, but I'm telling you, but no one's worked with those guys since they've been 12 on how to be the mechanic, right? They're just talented dudes that usually can find their way, but they make a lot of mistakes. You see, look at Dansby Swanson, misreading balls, getting tense on balls. He's a human being. So the point is you're human, but you want to learn how to master this machine here, okay? So identify your 3. Okay, mine was wet balls I didn't like. I didn't like when it was cold, and I didn't like lips, okay? So when it starts getting cold, instead of whining and complaining, I say, man, I love it when it's cold. Literally. And you know what happens? It just goes away. You're tricking your brain, and you focus on loving the cold, okay? And you feel what you think. So if I'm thinking good thoughts, what happens? I still feel good, man. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm not piggybacking on you. I mean, my big things were wet. I hated wet grass, wet, slick balls, soft fields, really sandy. I hated sand fields because they were inconsistent, and cold weather. Really cold weather. I hated cold weather.
That's awesome. I think a lot of us, if we had a top 10, we'd all be pretty much in there.
Right.
I said rocks in the dirt, bright sun, and long hot innings. Wet baseball, long innings, and cold.
So write this down. I'm only as good as my last thought. And whatever your last thought is, that's how your body's going to respond. So if Keith's thinking that they just called a play and he knows it's probably coming to him, right? And his last thought is, man, it's wet. My hands are slippery, right? What happens is his confidence level drops from a 10 to a 7, right? And now it creates tension. So what's the chance? Is he going to be 10 for 10 on that catch? There's a fair chance it might slip out of his fingers because he's hesitant. Right? Anytime something goes wrong, even last night, I go in the laundry room, okay? It's 1 in the morning, okay? I lock my key in there. And the first thing is like, I love everything. Boom, right? And I just walk out with a smile on my face. I go up to the counter, I grab the key. Check this out. Go back in the key. I go in there, boom. I left my quarters in the room and Trent's sleeping. And then the first thing, right? My natural thinking pattern was what? Man, dang it, I gotta get to sleep. I got 30 minutes to get my laundry done. It's getting late. Gotta go get the quarters again. Love it, baby. Get some exercise, right? And I go in there and literally, but if you can change your default immediately, nothing will affect you. And when you're unaffected, you know what happens? You're totally centered. And right now, you guys are centered. Look at the dirt, dude. There ain't no lips. It's not wet, okay? It's turf, so it's even. The dirt, the grass, and you got your buddies. It's sunny out, right? You have every variable and situation and circumstance. Everything is in your favor, right? You know the guys around you. You're comfortable. Yeah, man, this is nice. Well, you know what? When you're playing most of the time, it ain't nice. Okay, and that's when it can't affect you. Okay, otherwise you're going to be playing with a light that's yellow. Say my light is green. Say it's time to wait. Okay.